Some warnings come as whispers, some come as visions, and some, long before death arrives, come as dreams. Dreams that feel heavier, clearer, more than waking life. Dreams that tell a person it's time to pack their bags. Tonight, we explore the strange world of departure dreams, those final nighttime messages that appear days, weeks, or even months before someone dies. And what they show is almost always the same: a journey, a ticket, a vehicle waiting in the dark. I'm Candy, and this is Half Haunted Chronicles. Sleep is supposed to be a break from reality, a quiet space where the mind wanders, resets, and heals. But for people nearing the end of life, dreams do something different. They shift, they sharpen, they tell stories that echo ancient myths, like the ferryman at the river or the traveler preparing for the last road. Hospice workers have documented thousands of these dreams. Researchers like Dr. Melvin Morris and authors in Dreaming Beyond Death found that dying people dream of the same symbols across culture, age, and belief. Not nightmares, not fear, journeys through water, through forests, through airports, through train stations, through unfamiliar cities, and sometimes through the stars. Tonight we look at the dreams that warn, comfort, and prepare the dying long before their bodies let go. Here are some stories from the edge of sleep. Brian the captain sailing into the uncharted. Brian was a retired ship captain, a man who spent half of his life on water. As his health declined, he began having the same dream every night: a vast, foggy sea, a ship waiting without a crew, and a voice telling him, "Your course is set." At first, he joked that his mind was drifting back to the old memories, but the dreams grew more vivid, so vivid he woke up smelling salt water. One morning, he told his wife, "I'm leaving soon. My ship is ready." Within 48 hours, he passed quietly in his sleep. Hospice researchers note that departure imagery often appears to help the dying feel prepared, but Bill's dream was more than symbolic. He said the sea looked unlike any he'd sailed, smooth as glass, glowing, stretching forever. His wife believed he had already begun the journey long before his final breath. Departure dreams aren't modern, they're ancient, older than recorded history. Even Socrates, sentenced to death in 399 BC, had one. The night before his execution, he dreamed of a woman dressed in pure white. She stood at the end of a long road and said, "Socrates, in 3 days you will reach the pleasant land of Pythia." Pythia was the homeland of Achilles, a symbol of peace, rest, and noble death. Socrates told his friends the dream meant he would finally be freed from his body. It wasn't a warning, it was a promise. And just like the dream predicted, 3 days later, he died exactly as it foretold. A hospice nurse from Dr. Lermer's research recorded this: a woman in her 70s had stopped eating, stopped walking, and stopped talking, but every morning she told her daughter the same thing: "I'm waiting for my train." She described a huge underground station filled with glowing lights and soft music. She said people she hadn't seen in decades stood on the platform waving to her. One day she whispered, "He just handed me my ticket." That night, she passed away. Her daughter later said she felt more peace than sorrow. The dream, she said, was my mother's way of packing her suitcase. Imparting visions, Dr. Morris studied a case that still puzzles researchers. A woman named Anna was dying of kidney failure. 1 week before her death, she dreamed of walking across a narrow bridge toward her deceased husband. The next morning, she told her daughter, "I'll be joining him soon." But the strange part wasn't her dream, it was her family's. Her daughter dreamed of the same bridge. Her son-in-law dreamed of Anna waving goodbye. Her grandson dreamed of her hand slipping from his. 3 people, 3 dreams, 1 message. And exactly 1 week later, Anna died at dawn, the same moment her daughter woke up from a final dream of watching her cross the bridge. Not all departure dreams are symbolic. Some are direct. A 6-year-old boy with terminal illness told his mother, "I'm going to fly soon." She thought he meant airplanes. He loved airplanes, but he shook his head. "No, not like that. I'm going to fly up past the clouds. They're building a place for me." The night before his death, he smiled in his sleep and whispered, "I'm ready." His mother said she felt a warm breeze move through his room when he exhaled for the last time. Departure dreams in children are often the clearest, free of fear, free of metaphor and full of acceptance. Here are 3 creepy facts to haunt your day. Death transportation. Symbols appear worldwide. Boats, trains, bridges, and roads show up in death dreams across every religion and culture ever studied. These dreams often repeat until the person dies. Families report loved ones having the same death dream for days or weeks until the moment of passing. Ancient cultures believed dreams were rehearsals for the afterlife. Egyptian, Greek, Tibetan traditions all taught the dying dream of their journey before taking it. Death scares us because it feels like we're losing control, like being pushed somewhere we didn't choose to go. But departure dreams flip that idea upside down. These people aren't forced, they're preparing, packing, seeing tickets, ships, trains, bridges, roads, and people waiting. Their minds, or maybe something deeper, create a path that feels personal, familiar, and comforting. Now, here's the part that really gets me. These dreams don't feel like normal dreams. They don't fade, they don't blur. They stick, they stay, they guide, whether they come from the brain or from something beyond it. They show us a truth most of us forget. Death isn't the end, it's a journey, and journeys always begin with a destination. Tonight, we follow dreamers who saw their final journey before they ever took it. Next time, we cross into a darker mystery. Dreams and visions aren't the only warnings. Some people sense death days or weeks before it arrives, but not for themselves, but for others. Premonitions, prophecies, the Sid dream studies that shocked even medical researchers. Until then, stay curious and always, always stay haunted.